All right, today on VW Fab Works, we're going to show you how to work one of these things. Ah! All right, today we got a couple of shop hacks for you. Basically just a couple tricks on using a tape measure. We know how to use a tape measure, but we can make it a little easier. Now, if you're into fabrication, Volkswagens, cars, whatever, take a second and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out, and we love subscribers. So anyway, what I'm doing here is when you have to lay out some sheet metal screws, or sometimes if we're welding stuff, we want it to look like it's been like on a pinch weld, like a spot weld. We drill holes and actually TIG them up and make them look like a factory spot weld. You can do that pretty easily with a tape measure and a square. So if you're trying to lay something out, like this sheet here it's a little over 20 inches. Now let's just say you want to lay it out every 3 inches. Well, then you'd have to do some crazy math, which I don't like to do. I don't like to get out my calculator. An easy trick you can do is just take your tape, hook it on your corner here where you're going to mark it, slide it up till it hits 21. That's, 3 divided into 21. So it goes into 21. So then you just take your square, line it up with number 3. There's your first mark. Next one will be 6. Boom. 9. 12, I can count by 3s, and so on. Then all you have to do, depending on where your hole is it's just mark your hole, however far, in a ½ inch, whatever you got to do. Easy trick to keep them evenly spaced on a part that's not necessarily the number that works for you, is laying it out. So use it. All right, for my tip, something I use every single day, and I learned a long time ago, back when I first started fabricating. Somebody came in and I was floored when I learned this, because it's so simple. But basically you're trying to cut something in half, and a fraction's always involved in it almost every single time, but you want to cut it just directly in half. Well, half of any fraction, all you need to do is double the bottom number. So say half of a half is, everybody knows it's a quarter, but if you take the 2 and you double that, it's a quarter. So half of, say, 7/8 is 7/16. So it's real simple. Half of 7/16 is 7/32, which is harder to read on a tape measure, but you get the idea. It just works that way. So let me show you how I make the tape beam, Rob. All right, what we got, like this here is 13 1/4. So that's an easy one. So basically, half of 13 is going to be 6 1/2 plus 1/8. Just double that, or drop that quarter down to 1/8. So real simple that way, right? You can just do it in your head. You don't need to sit there and get your calculator out like Rob likes to do. But so this one here is 36 3/16. So half of 36 3/16 is going to be like this. This is how I would break it down. Half of 30 is 15, plus the 6 is 3 more, 1, 2, 3, and then half of 3/16 is 3/32, which I know where that is. It's right there. So boom, that's simple. All right, I hope you enjoyed today's 2-minute tips. Was it 2 minutes? Roughly. I don't know what it was. Well, for the other 25% of our viewers who are outside of the US, who get to use the metric system.
What's the metric system?
A thing of beauty.
Yeah, I know.
For a guy like me who doesn't like to do math, a thing of beauty.
Oh, yes, it is.
So you guys are lucky who are not in the US, and I don't know, do they use fractions anywhere else? I don't even know.
I don't know either. Yeah. They always talk in millimeters, and that's pretty straightforward.
Easy.
Anybody can do that. This is hard.
Anyway, thanks for liking, thanks for subscribing, and we will see you next week.
Probably.
All right.